Disabled reality, I'm asymmetrical and off-kilter, and I don't hate it. I'm a hard-of-hearing, chemo-brained amputee with Crohn's disease and tinnitus. You gotta collect them all. I'm thrilled to be alive and here. Both are a surprise for me after 2 occurrences of bone cancer to my lungs. For the most part, I've adjusted to the disabilities I have and have lived with them for over a decade now. And sometimes I need to hold my notes because memorizing a speech is apparently beyond my cognitive skills even after a decade of some neurotoxic chemotherapy. It's frustrating as a disabled person and a philosopher of technology, that's my day job, to regularly see misconceptions about disability and technology in the world. Becoming disabled meant being thrown in so many ways. I was 30, I had 2 very small kids, they were 2 and 4. I was in my 2nd year on the tenure track at Virginia Tech, and cancer was terribly unexpected. And the disabilities I have, except for Crohn's disease, are all part of that treatment. But being disabled is a lot easier than becoming disabled. Ooh, I'm making noises, hey, with the sound there. All right, the saying as it goes in my amputee groups and written across amputee shirts, see how that's a pun, hey, are we having a mic issue? I can't see the mic guy. Yeah. All right. How about if I hand you one of my hearing aids, Samira? Hey, this cost $2,000. And it has earwax on it. Hey, and that's the discount brand. Okay, I didn't mean to teach you this lesson today. All right, so the saying across amputee shirts is this: it cost an arm and a leg, but I was able to negotiate. Fiona Kumari Campbell talks about ableism as a trajectory of perfection. Here, by holding these notes, I am defying this trajectory in my own way. How does it make you feel? Are you less likely to listen to me because I'm not doing things the way you expected me to do? Do you think I'm less cognitively able to handle information and big words? I'm a big believer personally in just doing it disabled, doing it the ways I can, as the best I can, and sometimes this is it. I coined the term technoableism to pick up on a trend that so many disabled people have already described in their own writing. My work is reading the things disabled people write and trying to find trends in how we talk about technology. Technoableism is this pattern I see in so much writing where ableism is reinforced in the way we talk about and create technologies. Ableism, this trajectory of perfection, is a bias against disabled existence where sort of the narrative of technoableism is this: there is an expectation that engineers and doctors and helpers of all sorts are supposed to do their magic on disabled people to redeem us through technologies. Sometimes this is talked about as making people whole again, as if we're not just missing parts, but missing something internal to us, or as eliminating a problem. It's an approach that positions disabled people always as consumers, as passive in these interactions, as unpleasant objects to design for, or as users and difficult ones at that. Technoableism suggests that disabled people are always those people who are helped, those who are in need. But the reality is that we're out here helping ourselves and each other. We share, repurpose, remix, fashion, create, and more. We're adapting and making things of our own and making this world our home in ways that really go underappreciated. Technoableism writes over disabled community and creativity and accomplishment and throws us into a bin of misfit toys, ready for deserved mistreatment or forced intervention. The hype around technology erases us too. Most new technologies won't pan out commercially or socially. It'll be difficult to get them. They'll cost $2,000 and you put earwax on them at the end of the day. They're impossible to maintain, impossible to afford, and most things will never make it out of a design lab in the first place. I see so much development where when I think just a little bit about how disabled community works and the sort of things disabled people actually want isn't it. We waste a lot of time searching and aiming for technoableism here. And what people find when they look for disability and want to learn about it, they go to the DSM, they go to medical textbooks, they rarely ask disabled people themselves, and they get a skewed vision of what disability is and who we are. What they find isn't wrong, but it's not right either. We have whole systems built on biases as part of their design, something explored broadly in the work of my friend Damian P. Williams, but the cyborg Gillian Weisse says it best: there's always someone inventing a new hell for us. And it shows in what is made and what makes it to the market. We get continuous glucose monitors put on the market without an auditory readout, when blindness and visual impairment are a commonly come from having diabetes. We get exoskeleton projects touted as replacements for wheelchairs, when most wheelchair users are at least partially ambulatory. And for people who are paralyzed, these devices present new ways of getting pressure sores and won't actually be a good replacement for wheelchairs for them anyway. We get hearing devices over 100 years of hearing devices where every new one is supposed to cure deafness, and none of them quite do it. We get abusive behavioral techniques in treatment history where the goal is to extinguish problem behaviors, and they're still using electroshock devices on some autistic young people as part of behavioral therapy at one institution in the US. There's been work to get the FDA to make the device no longer approved. That hasn't been pushed far enough, despite over a decade of work by different disability organizations. And if we're at work, we have accommodations paperwork that sucks the life from us, requires doctor's notes, when we know what we're doing better than the doctors do because they don't follow us to work. And also, disability accommodation represents a particular failure. Right? We're forced to go through meetings with our supervisors in HR, turn in doctor's paperwork, get a doctor's appointment to get that paperwork, and go through all this rigmarole to get tiny modifications. The work of being included too often falls to disabled people. Tech outside of the disability space fails us even more. We get things like AI proctoring services and job application portals that screen out disabled people as a matter of course for not tracking their eyeballs in the appropriate way, or for not appearing neurotypical in the way you answer questions. We have generative AI being used that sucked a whole bunch of biased data about disabled people, right, from medical practitioners who might not know our lives, and from other views that include this ableism as part of medical and scientific practice that has just gotten scraped by all these slot machines. And when garbage goes in, we know garbage goes out. It's going to amplify problems of disability in so many ways. And I want to say, you can't even buy a walker with pre-cut tennis balls. Right? The ways in which we're being failed are significant, right? I'm not against technology. I'm standing here with my carbon fiber wearing one of my hearing aids, and I like medical advancements, but I want them to help people. I want things to actually serve disabled people, to be durable, and not serve someone else's faulty imagination of what we're supposed to be like. Disabled people should be recognized as the experts of the lived and embodied experience of disability and technology. We've navigated systems you haven't seen and had to hit a sports store after buying a walker, okay? I've been there. My sister went to the sports store, though. Our observations about the world and technology are far more nuanced than what most people have seen depicted on TV or in the news, where they really want us to be inspirational and reveal some sort of fundamental truths about universal existence, or a study in how nice other people are for treating us like we're people, or where we're represented as shameful or blameful for faking or causing the disabilities we have. Disabled people rarely get to be regular in our culture's stories, so it's no surprise that non-disabled people believe that all disabled people have one basic goal in life: to be non-disabled, to be normal, to be like you, right? Non-disabled people think we want to be like them. But for many of us, the time of cure has long passed, and these are the lives we have now. And more than that, we have a tremendous store of knowledge that gets overlooked by non-disabled condescension. Our stories are thrown out before they're told. Our expertise is thrown away in ways that are reality denying. You might even be disabled now. I'm the Oprah Winfrey of disability. Everybody look under your seat. You get a disability. It's a brand new autoimmune disorder. You get a disability. You're going to break a whole bunch of little bones in your feet and never walk the same. You get a disability. It's a round of COVID, another one, and long COVID forever. You get a disability. Surprise, it's shingles. You get a disability. It's a brain injury. It's finally getting that diagnosis of autism that makes everything make sense. Congrats on that last one, by the way. Right? Disability is all of our reality. And it's coming for you if it's not here yet. The future is disabled. This is not an original observation. I read a lot of other disabled people's writing. Alice Wong of the Disability Visibility Project has written on the topic, The Future is Disabled. You can buy t-shirts at the Disability Visibility Project about it. Leah Lakshmi Piapsna-Samarasina wrote a book by this title. The thing is, our most optimistic technology-driven approach to disability is still a game of whack-a-mole, where we work on one mole and then another. Well, meanwhile, we get new moles popping up, and a whole mole herd is coming. This feels like I'm about to give a little infomercial about skin cancer, but not that kind of mole. When I say the future is disabled, I mean it as a practical reality as well as a motivation. The converging realities of climate change and increasingly powerful weather events, things like environmental contamination and pollution, the cost of energy for things like new AI data centers, new diseases and older ones allowed to get back into circulation, and more, meaning we're facing a future more uncertain and more disabling. Even in rosier science fiction imagination scenarios, the ravages of space upon our body will create their own patterns of disability. Ideas about physical and mental fitness, this trajectory of perfection, have a stranglehold on how we've ordered the world, about who we think is good or worthy, who we abandon and who we champion, about who we let live and who we make die. It's shown in everyday design, from houses with grand staircases, good luck aging in place, to the fact that getting basic wheelchair repair can take weeks or months. The systems we navigate are meant to make our lives harder, to prove ourselves to receive minimal accommodation and care. And that's obscured by technoableism. My disabled dream is a very practical one. We have to get comfortable with disability as a category and resource towards planning and executing our coming future, to adapting to the world that is coming for us. In the words of Anita Cameron, you erase us at your peril. Thank you, Boulder.